to share this message with you guys tonight. It's something that I think both adults and students can relate to. But first, before I get into the message, I need you guys to help me with something. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So I need you to tell me what decision you would make between right and wrong. Okay? So your decision is eating an apple versus punching your sibling in the face. Which one would be the right? Which one would be the right decision? Yeah. Okay. So how about option number 2, studying for a test or cheating off your friend to get the answers when you take the test? Which one would be right? Studying for the test is the right answer.
All my friends were
done. You guys are making me nervous. All right, so third option is getting home on time for your curfew or staying out past your curfew and partying. Which one would be the right answer?
Getting home on curfew.
What? That's not the right answer. Getting home. Yeah, staying out past curfew to party versus getting home for curfew. All right. So those I felt like were pretty easy. Some of you are making me nervous with your decisions, but okay. So now I have 3 more scenarios for you guys, but they're a little tougher. So the first scenario is jumping into a fight at school to help someone, or walking away from the fight because violence isn't allowed in school. First one. How many of you would jump into the fight? How many of you would walk away because you're following the school rules? We got one to follow. Okay.
You could go get
Okay. Second scenario. Posting something on social media, knowing that the friend who isn't there will feel left out, versus not posting anything at all. What would be the right answer?
Not posting.
Okay, that's good. All right. The last one is harder. So you have a friend, they're going through a hard time. And when you go through a hard time, sometimes you start making bad decisions to cope with the pain you're feeling, the stress, the anxiety. So your friend starts to drink and smoke pot to deal with their problems. Do you participate in those activities because you don't want your friend to feel lonely? Or do you distance yourself from that friend knowing they're going to be lonely, but distancing yourself to protect yourself?
Distancing.
So what I was trying to prove with that whole thing is that when emotions are involved in your decision-making process, it gets way harder, right? With your friend in the fight, you wanted to seek justice and you wanted to help your friend out. You wanted to have their back, but you were going to break the rules of the school and you were going to get in trouble. But it was worth it because you felt like you wanted to help your friend. Second one, you might want it to feel affirmed by posting something on social media because you were doing something cool with your friends. And you feeling affirmed by all the likes you were getting was worth it, even though the friend who wasn't invited was going to be upset. Or you felt bad for your friend who was going through a hard time. So you decided to just join in those decisions just for a little while, just until they're over it, and then you'll be over it, and you guys can move on, just so they're not lonely because you felt bad for them. And you totally sacrificed your values and everything that you stood for because you felt bad for your friend. And everyone in this room experiences emotion. Everybody feels angry, sad, jealous, happy, joyful. You compare yourselves. Anxiety, stress, depression, we all feel those things. But in our emotion, God still expects us to make godly decisions. He still expects us to make the right decision. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. How to make the right decision when you're feeling such strong emotions that make you feel like you should do something else. Cool?
Yeah.
Cool? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pray for us, and then I have a story I want to share with you. So God, thank you for today. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for oysters and water and hand sanitizer. God, thank you for the students who came here tonight, even if they're tired, if they have homework. Lord, be with us this evening. Be with my message. Be with the small groups. Speak to the hearts and minds of these students. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so does anyone know a story in the Bible about Cain and Abel? Yeah. Has anyone ever heard that story?
Yes, sir.
So the story in the Bible of recorded story of murder ever in human history. God created humans, Cain and Abel were born, and then one brother murdered the other brother. So what had happened was Cain came first, and then came Abel. And normally during that time, the firstborn sibling of any family would always get the blessing, or would always get like the family rights because they were the firstborn. So what had happened was Cain was a farmer and Abel was a hunter, and they were asked to bring sacrifices to God, so to see who would get the blessing from God. So Cain brought his best from his crop, and Abel brought his best from the animals that he got. And they brought the blessings before God, and God chose Abel over Cain, which in that time was messed up in Cain's mind. So can you imagine Cain saying, Lord, I brought you my best offering, and you still chose him over me, even though it was supposed to be me. Do you guys think that he was angry? Do you think that he was confused, why is this happening to me kind of deal? So what he did was God came to Cain and said, look, I know you're feeling angry. I know you're feeling this way, but I'm asking you to make the other decision. Because God could see Cain's anger in his heart. God could see that there was this rage welling up inside Cain that was going to make him make a really bad decision. So God said, look, Cain, don't do this. Like, I'm here. I'm going to give you a way out. You're still going to be blessed if you make a different decision. Even though I didn't give you this blessing, you're still going to be blessed in a different way. I need you to trust me. Please do not give in to this anger that you're feeling. And what do you think Cain did?
He gave it.
He gave it. And he said, hey, Abel, let's go out to this field over here. And they went out to the field, and he picked up a rock, and he said, hey, Abel, guess what? Bang! And hit him in the back of the head and killed his brother. Bang! Killed him with a rock, back of his head. All because he felt angry. And that emotion was so strong, he didn't know how to deal with it, and he made a bad decision out of it. So then God came to Cain and said, you made this bad decision. You are exiled from your family, you're exiled from your land, and you need to go to this new area of land and start a new life and start everything all over, which was a big deal during this time because the population wasn't crazy. Like, humanity had just started, so there wasn't like, I'm going to hop over to Dayton and there's going to be a bunch of people there and I'm going to start my life. It was, I'm going to hop over to this field where no one's ever been before, and I got to figure out how to start a new civilization in this area. He was angry, he was lonely, he probably felt guilt for the decision he made, he probably felt grief because the dude straight up killed his brother. Can you imagine killing someone, like, because you're so angry? Anyone? I mean, if you can, then I guess it's understandable because it's happening. But when I was younger, I have a similar story. No, I did not kill anybody. But when I was younger, does anyone remember the red Dirt Devil vacuums? You guys might be too young, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a little Dirt Devil vacuum, and I was probably like 5 or 6 at the time. I'm like vacuuming around the house, which is ironic because I like hate cleaning now. And so I was doing this around the house, and the batteries ran out. And my brother's 4 years older than me, so I asked him to help me with everything. And he was in the other room in the living room playing Pokemon. So he had all his cards out on the floor, and he was flipping them over and battling and catching, I don't know, doing all that stuff. And I come in, I go, Rob, can you change the batteries in my Dirt Devil vacuum? And he goes, yeah, hold on just a second. And, he's flipping cards and battling. He's like, I need to finish this. I need to beat this trainer, whatever. I feel like I know too much about Pokemon. But anyway, he's like, hold on just a second. And I'm super impatient. And that has never changed about me. I'm still a really impatient person. And I got so impatient, I picked up this Red Devil vacuum cleaner like a baseball bat and just went right across his face. So, can you imagine me vacuum swing brother's face, made full contact. I drop the vacuum, my brother starts screaming. His glasses just flew off his face. And I'm standing there like, whoa, I just did that. And then my mom comes running in. And I waited upstairs for my dad the whole day that time. And it was not a fun time when he got home. But that is an example in my life of when the emotions were so strong, I made an awful decision. And it's it's still like that as an adult. There are still times where I make decisions based off my emotions, and it's not the healthiest choice. So, what I want to talk to you about today is how to make the right decision when you're feeling such strong emotion. There was a study done in 2013 that said when people are feeling anger or jealousy or depression, they're 60% more likely to forget about the risks or consequences when they make a decision. That when you are feeling such strong emotion, there's something that neurologically happens in your brain that just totally stops the function in your brain that makes you think of reason, that makes you think of why you believe what you believe, and it just says, nah, do it. Go kill your brother. Go hit your brother in the head with a vacuum. Go cheat on your, significant other. Go cheat on that test. Go to that party. Go disobey your parents. It's those strong emotions that just shut down the part of reason in our brain, and we can't make the right decision. But God still expects us to make the godly decision, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 ways on how to make a godly decision in the face of strong emotion. So the first way, Paul writes in Ephesians 4:26-27, "In your anger do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold." 2 things come from that. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to feel anxious, sad, happy. All these emotions that you feel, it's okay and it's normal. It's an initial reaction. You can't control your initial reactions, but you can control your second reaction. You can control how you act on that emotion. And Paul says, do not sin out of that anger, or do not sin out of that depression. Do not sin out of that pressure to make a decision. Do not sin out of wanting to be popular, to be liked. He says, don't do it. It's okay to feel that way, but don't make that decision afterwards. And he goes on to say, don't let the devil give a foothold.
Or the dirt devil.
Yeah, or the dirt devil. Don't let the dirt devil give you a foothold. Guys, we have an enemy out there who literally wants to destroy our lives. He wants us to make every wrong decision possible so that we will have the most miserable life ever imagined. And Paul says, out of your anger, do not sin, and do not let the devil have a foothold in your life. Because as you start to think on that anger, or that jealousy, or rage, or sadness, the enemy creeps in. And he goes, yeah, you're feeling that way. Yeah, they deserve, your revenge. Yeah, they deserve that, rude Snapchat, or they deserve you bullying them, or they deserve that, or whatever. The devil will jump in and say, yeah, you deserve to go to that party. You're cool enough. Let's go. Let's have a good time. He will literally sneak in and tell you those things right when you feel that emotion. Right when you feel that anger, the enemy is right there wanting to get a foothold in your decision-making process. It's not a second doesn't even go by, and he's right there. The minute you feel anger, the minute you feel anything else, the devil's right there saying, yeah, follow that emotion. Make that decision. Yet God over here is saying, it's okay to feel this way, but take time. Take time to think about how you feel. Take 10 seconds. Say, okay, I'm feeling angry. I'm going to count down from 10, and I'm going to ask God to help me make the right decision in this situation. And you count down 10, 9, 8. The emotion starts to go down. 7, 6, 5. The reason starts to come in. The Holy Spirit starts speaking to you, saying, it's okay that you feel this way, but you need to make this decision instead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you take those 10 seconds, you're more likely to make the godly decision. When you take that 10 seconds and honestly ask God to give you wisdom on what decision to make, he's going to give it to you. But it's your decision whether you follow his guidance or not. So that's the first way. When you feel that initial reaction, know that the devil is going to be there. And he is going to say, follow that emotion. Jump into that fight. Make the own decision. Make your decision that you want to make, whatever it is. Take 10 seconds. Say, God, what do you want me to do? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I promise you, at the end of 10 seconds, your mind is going to change if you let God in. Maybe you need 20 seconds. Maybe if you're really angry about something, you need 30 seconds or a minute. Put your headphones in, take that time to cool down, and then go talk to that person. Take that time and cool down, and then go talk to your parents. Take that time and cool down, and maybe erase the post that you had on your phone. So that's the first way. Take time when you get that initial reaction. Figure out if your decision is for God or from the enemy, and then make your choice. And the second thing that I wanted to say was, at the end of the story of Cain and Abel, Cain was sent out to a different land, all by himself. He did start a family. He had a life. He started civilization where he was. And God came to Cain and said, even though you made this horrible decision, I'm still going to be with you. I'm still going to be faithful. I'm still going to bless you. And I'm still going to love you. So if that 10 seconds, that 20 seconds fails, because guys, sometimes it's going to. Sometimes you're going to make the wrong choice. If that time fails and you make the wrong choice, I want to encourage you that God is going to be faithful to you. That God, when you go back to God and say, God, I'm sorry. One, he understands, because he already knows how you feel. And two, he's going to love you and he's going to bless you anyway. So 2 things. Take time to think about how you're feeling. Is what you want to do from God or from the enemy? And then by chance, if you make that wrong decision, do not let the enemy trap you in shame and guilt. Do not make him feel like you're a terrible person now that you did this. You can't be a Christian now that you did this. You can't go to United because you did this, this, this. Do not believe those lies. Because God is saying, even though you made these decisions, I still love you, I still want to bless you, and I still want to guide you and teach you along the way. No one's perfect, and God doesn't expect us to be perfect. But he does expect us to make the right decisions in the midst of strong emotions. So I would ask you, we're going to take about 10 seconds. I want you to think about the decisions you've been making recently. I want you to think about those decisions. I want you to think about the emotions that come with them. Because honestly, some of you guys are going through a really hard time right now. Some of you might be having a great time in your life, and it's awesome, and grades are good, and homecoming was fun, and you look good, and you feel good, and you're having fun at United. But honestly, some of you feel like crap. Some of you are failing classes, you're sad, you're depressed, you don't even know what's going on with your life. I'm sure there might be some adults that are feeling like crap too. So take a couple seconds to think about the decisions you've been making and the emotions that go along with it. Have you been making the right decisions or not? What's been controlling the choices you've been making? God or your emotions? God or the devil? God or your friends? Who's been influencing you? So, God expects us to make godly decisions in the midst of strong emotions. And the only way we're going to survive and do that is take time, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, take time to think about those emotions. Think about it. Ask God for wisdom. Make the right choice. And if you don't make the right choice, ask God for forgiveness, and he'll meet you where you're at. Because we all have emotions in here. They're a part of life. Emotions are not bad. They're not wrong. And they happen, and God expects us to make good decisions. And this is the part of making your faith your own. That you don't have parents hovering over you saying, I'm forcefully driving you to United tonight so that you can hear what Cole or Corey has to say. That was my mom. She was a little sick. But I am here today, so that's good. But you guys are high schoolers. You're making your own choices. You're doing your own thing. You have your license. You're driving around. Hopefully your parents trust you. This is the time where your decisions can really impact your life for a long time. They really can. So think about it. How have your decisions been recently, and who's been influencing you? God or your emotions? So we're going to pray. God, thank you for tonight. Again, Lord, thank you for speaking to our students. Lord, you know what they're going through. You know how they feel. You know the decisions they've been making, even when it's in secret, even when it's in the dark, even when it's behind closed doors. God, you see it all, and you know how we feel. So, Lord, I pray that as we break out into small groups, you would continue to speak to our students, that they would be able to have conversations, they'd be able to open up even though this is a new thing. Lord, and you would continue to speak in our small groups. Pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Cool. So we are starting small groups tonight. Yeah, you can stop it.